We are now live.
Yes.
So let's bring that up a little bit. So I believe, right. How many we got in at the moment? 2 viewers.
Oh, yeah.
3. It's climbing. It's climbing. Hello, everyone. But everyone thought I was going to break into song and dance then. So we've got, we've actually got this week. First of all, welcome to the show, everyone. Show, live stream, call it what you will.
Hello.
And we've got quite a bit of stuff to get through in terms of stuff that's been bought, really. Both myself and Chris have bought stuff this week. Now, there were supposed to be some others coming in, but they may drift in, they may not. Wait and see. There's no news to speak of this week that in terms of anything. The Hanniboo thing keeps rolling along under its own steam. It still pops up in conversations on forums here and there, but the facts are still the facts. You know, it's not going to cease production. It's you know, they're gonna just make a few changes and then start again. You know, it's so there's no real rush to get a kit. If you haven't got one, don't panic. You will get one. There's plenty of them about. Now then, where was I going to start? I've come in totally prepared because I'm not. We're actually spot on time today. It never normally goes this well. So anyway, we will start with what we've bought then, I guess. So actually, you can go first today. Oh, no, because yours ties in with one of the new group build, doesn't it? So we'll mention the group builds first.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, we like to mix it up a bit. So there's currently 2 group builds running. We've got the Ford Escort one, which finishes on the 1st of December. So you've still got time to enter and join that if you wish. It's any Ford Escort, any aftermarket, you know, any diorama or whatever you want to do. As long as it's got a Ford Escort in it, it's good to go. And there's no prizes on that one. It's just for the fun of it. It was originally meant as an sort of inauguration type build for the Misfits site. Unfortunately, that didn't pan out the way we'd hoped. But not to worry. The build still carries on. So yeah, that's still going. We've also got what started off as Chris's own group build, and the channel's sort of taken. Chris is now an admin, so therefore, you know, his group build has been taken on by the channel as well, and that is 100 years of RAF. Any RAF. Jet, plane,
any aircraft.
Am I right? Anything?
Any aircraft which serviced in the RAF. So
from 1918,
planes, helicopters,
yeah,
anything.
Yeah, from 1918 to 2018, and yeah, and that's and you know, that's quite a wide range open there. And I think you got a 6-month window on that as well.
Yeah, it ends on the 1st of November.
So it's 5 months on that.
Yeah.
5 months on that. now we're going to announce we've got a new group build, and this one's going to be awesome. Both me and Chris are really looking forward to this. I'm going to let him tell you what the group build is, because it's something he's bought this week. And yes. So yeah, take it away, Chris.
Yeah, it is going to be an open Polycarpov build. So any Polycarpov you want to build, anything you can build, any Polycarpov, any scale. And I got the I-16 Type 24, the same that Mark got, but I have the original ICM boxing. So I have this, and I have also the Edward big Ed set, so the masks and seat belts, the landing gears, and also the instrument panel, all in colored PE. So that's gonna be awesome. I'm looking forward for this, and yeah. Do we have when do we start this one, Mark?
Well, we're just discussing this. So basically, we've got prize. We are in the process of gathering prizes for this. So there will be prizes on this build. At the moment, what we're looking at, I've got a Hobby Zone paints module, which will be one of the prizes by Hobby Zone, and it's a paint module for small Vallejo size bottles, and I don't know how many does it hold. It's been opened just to have a look at it. It's not been used. Looks like it holds 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9, 18 maybe. Oh, 19, 27, 36. Looks like it might hold 36 bottles. I'm just checking that the rare earth magnets are in there for it to hook up onto your
so we can stack it up on the other products from.
Yeah, these are really good, these paint modules. I've got them myself. This was one I got that I was going to use, but I decided not. I wasn't going to bother. I've left I'll put that instruction sheet back in a minute. So that's one of the prizes. I'm also looking for another prize. We're going to be giving away one of these EBMA glue holders, which and I'll throw in I'll get the extra lids for it, so that it can you can use it for a range of other things as well. These are absolutely fantastic. Highly rate them, and yeah, that's going to make because we decided between us that we felt that tools might be the way to go for prizes. Everybody gives yes, it's nice to do kits, and we will do kits at some point. We will give kits away. But we all use tools. We all, many of us in this hobby are tool sort of whores, if you like. And so I'm going to look at we're going to look at giving tools away interspersed with kits, if you like. And so that was another one. And I believe Chris had in mind some sort of mask cutter.
Right. This Voyager one, but I will get them next week, and so I can show them. There is one for circle masks and one for straight masks.
Yeah.
So
But
you
I mean,
can.
there's no rush because we've got a few months before the end of the build anyway. So
Yeah,
don't put yourself short on the account of this, Chris.
yeah, no problem.
So yeah, so they're the three we've got at the moment. There may well be others added as we go through, because obviously it's going to be quite a long window this for it, because we can't we're not in a financial position to have multiple builds on the go with different prizes. So I hope that there's something there that will suit most people that they want. So that's the new group build. Can't put a date on it yet. It's going to be soon. And what I would like is, if you're interested, put your remarks in your comments in the bottom. Let us know you're interested, that you're going to join in with this build, and spread the word. Let other people know, because we really want to make this. The more people that enter, I think that the more I'm going to look at giving sort of bigger prize. Because if there's a lot of people in, then it might be worth investing a little bit on the channel and giving away something a bit bigger. But wait and see on that. So there's a little task for everyone, some homework if you like. We'll wait and see. So and now we move on to what I've bought, and so I can't remember, because there's been a few things I've bought over the past couple of weeks, and I don't think I've shown a lot of it. So this was bought a couple of weeks ago. I'm going to put the camera down now. And this was now, do you see that upside down or the right way up?
I see it upside down.
Right, so if I put it like that, it's better, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. So here I got this wings and fuselage detail emphasizer. I'm not going to pretend to know what that is, other than what it says it is. So it's adjustable washes. I don't really know what they mean by adjustable washes. Surely any wash is adjustable if you add water or take water away. I don't know. But they come in these, I don't know if you can see. Oh, no, I've moved the camera. Let me flick it back. Up there, they are the green lids, these. And in that set, you've got black liner, grey liner, pane grey liner, landing gear dust, blue burned exhaust, and a Airy remover. So yeah, that's the one thing that I bought. Second, I got I've been really interested in these over the past few weeks, and more I've read about them, the more I've wanted to give them a go. Now, I read about the Vallejo ones, and I'm talking about the Mecca Colours. Now, they were brought out specifically for Gundam. I have got a Gundam build that I'm planning on doing, so I got them primarily for that. But I can see uses in a lot of places, because apparently they're much more resilient than Vallejo's regular paint. They're quite tough. They're sort of almost scratch resistant, bump resistant. They're specifically designed for spraying on kids' toys and getting that tough finish.
Are these acrylics or animals?
Sorry?
Are these acrylics paints or?
Yeah. These are acrylics.
Okay.
And that's, so Vallejo doing, but while looking at the Vallejo ones, they're like £2.70 odd a bottle on eBay. I came across these, and these are a whole set of MIG ammo, MIG And I think these are acrylics as well, but these are the metallic colors. And they come in bottles like this. This one's is the blue, and this appealed to me much more than the Vallejo ones because I'm going to do the Mecca, the Gundam model I'm building is basically it's just red, white, blue. I think there's a bit of yellow in there. Well, I'm going to do it in the metallic colors instead. I think it will look much nicer finished, and I'm hoping to do a good job of that. But I got these from Mike Jolly, and I paid about I think I paid about 12 quid for them, the set, which honestly is very good value. And they're from Mike Jolly at Model Kits for Less. The website address, Facebook page is in the description below this show. Moving on. Anyone that knows me will know that I can't walk past super glue without buying it. Chris is laughing. He knows how much super glue I've got. Yeah. And, yes, perusing the. I've got this thing about super glue not being super. I was just saying earlier, it's mediocre glue at best. And I'm looking for the glue that I can use on Photoetch. That as soon as I touch it, within a couple of seconds, it's going to set and I can let go. Not one that when I let go, the Photoetch just falls off, or not one that when there's a wisp of wind blows off the fan or something, the Photoetch blows off the surface I'm sticking it onto, while I frantically try to unglue my fingers together, because that's the Sony stuff it seems to be super on.
That's right.
So I once heard somebody say that Bob Smith Industries does good glue. And I came across it while I was searching for Photoetch. So I got the Instacure 1 to 3 second glue. This is 1 ounce, and I paid I think it was about £4.99, something like that. And it's super thin. Apparently, that's the best stuff for Photoetch, super thin. And I haven't tried this yet. I don't know if you can see. You can't see in my drawer, but I've got a top drawer. It's literally full of bottles of glue, super glue, and then because I bought this one purely because it's black, and it looks cool as hell. So we're looking at this is. Let me turn the light down. So this is Bob Smith Industries. This is a 1 ounce bottle again, but apparently it's got carbon and rubber in it. So it's carbon and rubber toughened. Now this is aimed more at filling. I mean that looks cool. I know I'm an absolute sucker for buying anything that looks cool, or any tools that look cool. Did I show everyone them Brontosaurus things I bought?
I don't know.
I don't know.
No, you didn't show. You just show it to me.
Yeah.
You have to show it to the people. Come on, that's a really cool.
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. I'm going to show you them in a minute. They are awesome, aren't they, Chris? They're amazing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So there we go. And I'll see Angela's watching. So this was free. They threw this in for nothing. And then we've got now I buggered up my Vallejo Mecca Colours a while ago. So there's a little story attached with this. These I've replaced all my Vallejo metal colours. Now, the lesson to be learnt here, because they're not cheap. They're about £4 per bottle. So when I used to paint with these metal colours, I'd give them a good shake, and then I'd take the lid off and I'd pop the lid down there. And I used to use the paint that sat in this lid. And then, you know, I'd spray bigger areas. But then one day I started having problems spraying. The airbrush kept blocking up. And I started to look into it. And basically what was happening was, because I'm leaving this off, and I'd stand the bottle over to one side. You can't see it because it's all... But all the paint above the paint line where the paint would sit has coated the inside of this bottle. And what happens is it goes off on the inside of this bottle. So then I've got a little mixing ball in these. So when I come along and shake them up like that, it knocks all the bits of paint off the side that have set into this paint.
Yeah.
And so inside all of my bottles of Vallejo metal colours, it's lumpy. There's bits in there. So, you know, you can't spray it because when you pour it out, little bits of dried paint are stuck in there. It's no good at all. I even reached a stage where I had to, I used paper towels to create like a sieve and try and sieve the big particles out so that I could use them. But they've never been the same since. And I just stopped using them in the end because I lost confidence in them. Not because they were no good. Anyone will tell you, these acrylic, this acrylic is amazing. Their metal color range is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I love them also.
And I've been after them for so long, and I was so annoyed with myself because normally I won't buy anything that I've already got, even if it's no good. This is no good, but I won't spend money on something else but in this case I had to, because this stuff is so great. And I've learnt my lesson now. So if you've got these, when you pour it out, even if it's for painting, just never take this off, never leave your caps open, and you should be okay. So I didn't get the full range. I got most of the ones that I use, Duralinium, matte aluminium, silver, that sort of range. So that's those. I may even let me make sure I get these in the right place. Don't want to mix the old with the new. I don't know. I may use the other ones still because I don't know. They might come in handy for something. We'll wait and see. Following on from that, I also got another thing I've been after for a long time, and I just haven't had the money to get them. And I got myself, these are considered to be among the best metals you can get. So I got the Extreme Metal, AK Extreme Metals. And again, I don't think I got them all, but I got the ones that I use the most. I haven't yet tried them, but everywhere I've looked, these are supposed to be shit hot. These are supposed to be the best you can get. So I'm really looking forward to trying them. Now, one I did see on there, I've not seen this before, and this is Extreme Metal AK, but it's called Black Base. So I don't know if this is just like a regular gloss black, or is it something more. I've got to look into that. But looking at the bottom, it seems like it might just be like a gloss black.
It looks very thin.
Yeah, it is very, very thin. I don't know whether there's a metallic kind of colour to it.
I believe this is just a gloss black.
Yeah, I think it probably is. But they're
It's just my
enamels.
guess.
These are enamels, and I'm looking forward to giving them a blast, especially when I do my bikes and my engines on the cars and engines on planes. So I'm looking forward to that. So I got those. Also managed to get the MIG oil brushes set. The 3, they brought out a whole new range. I'm not going to buy the whole new range, but I did buy the metal ones that they've got in the new range. So I got steel, silver, and gunmetal, and I should be using those a lot. To be honest, I don't actually use my oil brushes set anywhere near as much as I thought I would when I bought them. But these I think I will use because I love doing engines, and they'll come in handy for doing scratch work on sort of cars and planes as well, I'm guessing. But yeah, so that's another item off the list. Then it sort of took a turn towards finishing, and I've seen these around, but I've never really seen anybody use them. So this is the Flex set. This is the starter set of, and it's got a bit of everything in there from their range. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do an opening video for this, a good look through them, and then we're going to look at some applications that this might be used on. So keep a lookout for that video. I'm going to do that at some point because I really don't know nothing about them. So it'll be an interesting video because of that. I'm just going to, we'll all be learning together. I'm just going to go in blind and have a look. So this set is about £18. It's available from I think this came from eModels, and they do a ultra fine finishing pack, which is £2.95. And again, I don't know nothing about these. Looking at the box, I think you just cut thin strips and attach them there. That's purely conjecture at this point. So you've got a full range of papers there to use. Again, that's a guess. So we'll wait and see, and that will be included in the video review I do as well. So looking forward to that. Then we start to wander into the realm of stuff that is, just bear with me a second. Somewhere, where's them? My Brontosaurus has gone. There we go. Rascals hiding away. Right, so now we're looking at items I've bought this week purely because they look awesome. And first up on the list are these. They look so strange. And they're called Brontosaurus grips, I think. And what's brilliant is when you open them, that's it.
That's so cool.
It's amazing. Hello. Hello there. So, and you can get into the tiniest of places with this, holding Photoetch, I haven't got anything on here right now, but you know, you've always, if like me, you've got big fat sausage fingers. When you try to come into somewhere small, it's just impossible. But with these help get in places where even tweezers can be a bit awkward. You know, yeah, these are just fantastic. They're, I would say, they're not too. I mean, these were £13, but it's a good tool, and it's going to last a long time. They're like a one-time purchase thing.
Oh yeah, you're gonna use them.
They're made of stainless Pakistan. What it says. Normally that would say stainless steel, but it says, is it going to come into focus? There we go. Stainless Pakistan.
Okay.
But they do seem to be very good quality, even if the label suggests otherwise. Yeah, I'm really, really pleased with them, because at the time I did buy them because I just thought, man, they're so cool. But they are going to be really useful. And in fact, they've already saved me a couple of times. So I'm really pleased with them. Now, the other thing I found with these, and me and Chris both had a look, and honestly, I don't really know what they're for. They're a nano brush microfiber applicator and long tip brushes.
What?
So basically, this yellow handle is the holder, and then you get all these long. They're almost like, is it mascara, the stuff that you dip in that's got the long brush on it, like it's got this long fine tip with these little tiny micro hairs all over it. So there's lots of uses that I could think of, but I'm wondering if there's a specific use for these. I don't know. I need to look into that. But that's going to be, that's an interesting one. That there's also some other, like a point at the other end which might come in handy for something, but I don't know. So that was about £2, might have been £2.50. I'm not sure, but this was from eModels as well, on eBay though, eModels eBay. Then we come to what I consider to be the best detail brush I have ever come across. Now, you remember a few weeks ago, I was going on about these. I bought 2 of them. These are Artificia layer brushes from Citadel. They are around £18 each. I was bought these on, I think it was Valentine's Day. Angela bought me these with a big kit from Games Workshop, and I've got to say they are truly magnificent. I've heard people say, you know, these brushes are great. And I've often thought, yeah, you've paid all that money for them. You're going to say they're great because you don't want to think you've wasted your money. But I can say these are fantastic. I've used these a lot, and look at the tip on there. Look at that. It's so, it looks beautiful.
Very, very sharp.
Lovely, lovely point. Retains its point after each time I clean it. You know, I just drag it across a paper towel and give it a little twist, and it's got a perfect point there again. And those 2 I use a lot, but they're used only on detail work. Preferably I keep them for figures. Now, they were £18 each. Now then, I came across this on eBay. This was £2. I think it was £2.95, free postage. Claimed to be one of the best detail brushes out. It's by the Army painter, and its name is the Psycho. So let me just bring that in. There we go. And there's the product code and the barcode if you want to use that. Blank on that side. And then we come and have a look at the tip. Look at that.
Very, very thin.
That is so fine. I'm talking, I can't even begin to explain how fine that is. I tried to paint something which I felt was small enough. Now, it was detail on, it was the detail on the front of the HMS Victory. I was painting a column in 1/180th, and I had to change brushes because I would have been there forever using this, because it literally does lines, thin lines. There's no other. This is purely for very, very minute detail, and in many ways, when it comes to detail, it beats this in many ways, because when it comes to doing things like Russell Crowe's beard, this is perfect. You could do individual hairs with this. You can go in and just add a little rogue hair here and there to his eyebrows. Going in and doing the eyes is going to be a breeze with this. I haven't used it on any figures yet. I have used it on some other things, and it's amazing. It really is. So, you know, if you want a detail brush, £2.50 versus 18 quid, and this will do your details. Depends on how big your details are, though. For this to work, it needs to be very small. Maybe we're talking that sort of scale. This would probably be excellent for that. You know.
Yeah, that 1/35 scale. Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, that was very, very nice surprise. That was. So I didn't know what to expect from it. Now I'm working on Angela's HMS Victory, and I bought my first bit of Photoetch. I don't normally buy aftermarket because it's too expensive, but this is something that I've grown. I'm falling in love with this ship that I'm building, and I really want to make a good job of it. So I went and bought the Scale Warship HMS Victory Details fittings set. I got this from scalewarship.com, or I think that is. It was £15, and it's some lovely, lovely photo etch. It's very thin.
Nice.
Beautiful. I'm really looking forward to putting that to good use. I've had a quick look. It comes with very detailed instructions. I've seen some instructions that people get with their photo etch, and they're nowhere near as good as this.
Ooh,
so each item on this has got, it's all laid out. It tells you where it's going to go. So number 1, Marine Walk, tells you where it goes, what it's replacing, how to bend it. It's all there. The rear. Then you come over and you've got all the other pieces there. Now they do another set which is for the netting, which I've got to get. But I should have bought it at the same time, but I only got it because at the time I didn't think I'd need it. But I've since found out that the netting that you have to make is a complete pig to do, and it doesn't look very good. So I've got to go back and maybe look at getting that. I've got to think on that though, because I want to make it look as good as I can. So that was the HMS Victory build. And then I got two kits that Angela bought me. And first one is the Airy Osprey.
Ooh.
I've looked at this kit for quite some time. Never really bought it because it's always been out of my price range. It's always been too bit dear. But I love the twin rotors and the fact that it can. The first time I saw anything like this was in the film by James Cameron with the big tall blue people in it. Don't say the Smurfs. Do you know the one I mean?
Yeah.
What is it? What's it called again?
You mean, yeah. I forgot it.
Yeah. Yeah, all right, we just call them the Smurfs, the adult Smurfs. So, yeah, and that was reduced.
Blackout.
Now, 20 quid, that was really good buy. But the best buy of the day had to have been the I'm going to have to move the camera up for this.
Ooh.
So this is the Revels, Discovery and Booster rockets. And I'm going to be doing a review on this. It is an old kit, but I'm still going to review it. I don't know, and I might review the Osprey as well. They're both old kits, but I don't mind reviewing them. I don't see much of them about. And this is going to be, when it's built, it's going to be 43.7 centimeters tall. So it's going to be quite, fair size. And it will stand with all my other space themed things. I've got an astronaut to build in 1/8 scale. That looks as though that's going to be great kit, and I'll have a whole space theme going on. Yeah, so that's the Discovery. Put that down there, and phew, I think that's it. I think that is it. Let me just have a drink. I'm really dry. So we're going to move on now to what we've been building, I believe, is next. And so, Chris, what have you been building?
I've been finishing off the Spitfire 1/48 scale.
Oh, that looks nice.
So yeah, this midstone has come out a little bit more greenish, but it's okay. So
that looks nice, I've got to say.
Thanks. So yeah, I'm gonna finish it maybe tonight, and
what do you got to do on that then?
Post some pictures tomorrow of it. So, and that's all. I had a busy week, so I couldn't do a lot of work.
Do you want to have a go at reading through the chat and see what's going on?
Do you want to?
So just starts off basically with everybody saying hello to everyone. Happy 4th of July to everyone in America. It's a big day for them.
Oh yeah, really?
Yeah, 4th of July is that's Independence Day, isn't it?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's the day that the White House blows up. Well, I've seen in the film the White House blows up. I wonder how many Americans out there now thinking, "Oh, please let that happen today." So so lots of greetings and hellos. Hey, DD Spidicate says, "Who's DD?" Oh, Damn Ducks. That's Bob. Hello, Bob. Thanks for joining us. Damn Duck says hi to Mrs. Sprue. She wanted me to say to you that
apologies.
Yeah, apologies because you wouldn't have recognised her under a pseudonym. I told you, Angela.
That's not my pseudonym. That's my real name.
Well, yeah, but on here,
yes,
you're known as. Shall I tell everyone my new name for you?
No, you should not. Otherwise, you get slapped.
Right. So.
Play nicely.
Angela says, watching the chat while watching a movie upstairs. Have fun all. Joe says, I assume those are enamel based. Yes, they are, Joe. The AK metallics, yeah, they are enamel based. Joanna says, those washes, that is. Those washes, that is. Yeah. I've read good things of those acrylic paints. Which ones are you on about there, Spidic? Damn, I've just hit this button at the side and I've gone flying past everything, missed everything out. Oh, the Mecca paints, yeah. So yes, I haven't used them yet, but I'm gonna give them a go and I shall report back when I know.
Change the camera, Mark.
Sorry?
Change the camera.
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting that. How much glue does one person need? That's from Angela. And Bob says he's got a drawer full of them too. Yeah. That's really fast acting Photoetch. You will have to get the position bang on first time. Well, yeah, Rob, I did think of that, but everywhere I've asked, or everyone I've asked that knows what they're doing, have all come back and said, you want really thin glue for Photoetch. So I thought I'd get some good stuff. I'm covered either way now because I've got from really thin super glue down to sludge, and then Jo was saying she was thinking the same. Rob, she uses 10 to 15 seconds thin CA, so I have a chance to get it in position. I can tell you for a fact that it won't stick in 1 to 3 seconds. They say that it will probably stick your fingers in 1 to 3 seconds. But I'm very precise when I put my Photoetch on anyway. I use one of those little wax pencils, and I go in very, very close with tweezers and position it sort of right above where it wants to be and just drop it on. And, sometimes if it's a little bit out, it's a little bit out. But generally, I'm okay. The stuff I'm using at the moment is, let me just show you, this stuff is slightly, oh, where have you gone? Here we go. Now, at the moment, I'm using Deluxe Products Hot Rocket or Rocket Hot. Super thin, cyano glue, bonds in 1 to 5 seconds. That's, to me, I've never timed it, but I have plenty of time working with the Photoetch using that. Plenty of time. So that's the one I'm using at the moment. Yeah, I foresee lots of bad words when using it for the first time. Spidicate, recommend storing your CA in the fridge. Especially with these temps. Oh, there's no way Angela would buy that. I use canopy glue first, then a dollop of CA. No, I've never heard that before. That's interesting. Are you on about like the, what is it, a special canopy glue, like, or is it just PVA, or just like the Airfix clear stuff?
I have this Revel clear stuff, and this is rubbish.
Yeah, but I've never thought of using canopy glue, and then because the canopy glue is really sticky.
I use just PVA glue. A little drop. Okay.
Joanna says, I love them as long as you keep the top on, they are fine. Right, I'm going to disagree slightly. I'm not saying all glues are the same. Let me just figure out where I keep going way past the there we are. So what brought on this whole glue thing was the fact that when I first started, I was using super glue and it just wasn't sticking. I was positioning stuff, it kept falling off, or it would blow off, or it would get knocked off at the slightest little thing. And generally the Photoetch especially, I found real problem, and it wouldn't stick. So I started going around and I started buying, you know, I heard of Gorilla Glue, so I bought some Gorilla Glue and tried that. I used it once, and I'm referring to this one. This has been used once, and then it's had the lid put on. It's been stood in my drawer, which is in the middle of our room. It's cool. The drawer's sort of dark, if you like, and it's stood upright. I came to use it the other day for something. And I can tell you that
that's so odd.
It's all like clear elastic in there. I can, you know, hang that by its own.
Like rubber.
Yeah, it's turned into like a thin rubber. It's just, it's the only one I've had do that, and that's Gorilla. And I thought they were supposed to be a really good brand. Now I do have one other Gorilla Glue, and I'm going to say off the top of my head, that's not going well either. And again, that's not that old. Yeah, it's all congealed inside. And they've just been sat in the drawer with the others, obviously putting them back because I intend to write to Gorilla about how poor that is.
Yeah, I never saw super glue acting like this.
No, I haven't, but you know, I'm not. I've only been modelling for a couple of years. None of the other glues have done it. They've all stayed thin. I'm just thinking, which is the first one I bought? So one of the first ones I bought would be that. Would be this one here. And this is an instant glue. And that's okay. That's still liquid. You can still shake it. Yeah, that's still coming out the top when you take the lid off. So I don't know. I really don't know. I'll write and ask them. There'll be people there that paid a lot more money than me that will know better. As long as you keep the top on there, fine. Right, so yeah, play Pong a bit, yeah. And when you're working with super glue, if you're working, I'm very short-sighted, so when I glue things together, I tend to look at stuff very closely. For example, when I'm painting, if I'm painting something close up, what I tend to do, I have got a headset with magnifying lenses on, but what I'll do is I'll normally look over the top of my glasses, and I can literally go in this close and I can see the detail perfectly. This brush looks enormous at this when I'm looking at it at this level, and I tend to paint and glue tiny bits together like that. Now the super glue gives off a vapor. Be extremely careful if you're like me and you do glue like that, because it stings the eyes. I can't glue my small pieces together like that anymore because of that. I have to resort to using the glasses, the magnifying lenses. So that, you know, be careful when you're working with it. So then AK Joe says, AK Extreme Metals, the company that won't tell you if they are enamels or not. Lol, they do need an enamel cleaner though. Right, I didn't know that, Joe. I didn't know that. It does state on them, I think I saw somewhere. Yeah, it says on the side, high quality enamel based. So I don't know. High quality enamel based paints for airbrush for all modeling branches. So maybe they've changed the print on that. I don't know. And then Dave's dropped in. Hello, Dave. Saying everyone's saying hello to Dave. He's just finished watering the plants and cooling myself down with the hose. We'll have none of that talking here. It's disgusting. Yeah, and even Joe's, she's way ahead of us on that one. Yeah, she says it's way too hot. He was going to paint today, but decided not to. Yeah, now this is a thing that a lot of people are saying. They're struggling with their painting in the hot weather. Joe says she hasn't managed to do any modelling since the tank track. It's just too hot where I do the work. Yeah. They look like something you'd expect to see a surgeon using for keyhole surgery. Oh, I guess you're on about the Brontosaurus scissors. They're amazing. I just love playing with them. I normally do little speech with hello. You got to put some eyes. an eye on each side. Anyway, that reminds me, I've run out of mascara, Dave Price said. I knew it. I knew that the first the hose, and now we're on to, oh dear. Right. I'm struggling. I've got a blue arrow in front of it. So Spidic says, I'm struggling to think of a use in model terms. If they're as stiff as mascara brushes, no, they're very flexible. I haven't had one. Let's tell you what, let me just open the packet slightly. Because I was going to save this for online when I open it, do the review, but I'll put a little nick in the top. Don't want to cut the top off the brush, just so I can tell you if they are so they're very flexible, and I would say the hairs are very fine. They're not stiff. They're not stiff. There's Chris laughing in the background. So I hope that should be good for cleaning airbrushes. Yeah, maybe. Thinking along the lines of painting, I use incidental brushes for airbrush cleaning. Yeah, I've got some of those. Sprue did a review of the entire War Painter set. They seem okay. And then Jo is saying she thinks that was designed for the eyes, the Psycho brush. And don't bend it. She's on about the Photoetch. Avatar, yes, that is the film. Avatar. I hope that's going to get a review. Rob is on about what Avatar. The Mecca paints, same company of your Rocket Deluxe Clear Canopy Glue. Rob B says works great for him, no problems, wouldn't change. So it might be worth me giving it a go then. Oh right, sorry, Jo. When Jo's earlier on, she said further up that they work fine, you know, as long as you keep the lid on them. She loves them. Well, I went and said that actually, Jo, I disagree. I beg to differ. And I went through a whole speech about how they're not the same. When you take it, turns out she was on about the Vallejo paints, not the glue. So my apologies. Bobbington says you could use it for drool on monsters. He's on about the CA glue that I've got that's gone off. Now, Dave Price says CA glues have a shelf life and will thicken with age. The idea of putting in the fridge does help. Yeah, the decomposition of CA is directly related to increased temps. I found it increases the life of the glues, keeping them cool. My hobby room temp is probably the most consistent, and they still go off much more quickly. Spidic says I use very little CA and just stick to pound shop cards. Not the best by far, but it does okay, and I don't mind binning 3/4 of a tube of solid cheap stuff. Spidic does have a point there. You can buy a pack of 10 in the cheap stores. So, you know, that's one thing I haven't tried, believe it or not. The really, really cheap tubes. I haven't tried those.
It works for me.
Yeah, and I don't disagree with, if it works, then stick with it. That may be the way to go. Perhaps I'm going the wrong way, because I've always thought with modeling, the more you pay for an item, the better quality you get. And that's true with tools, but when it comes to glue, maybe it's not so true. When it comes to super glue in particular. Do they have a recommended use on the packet of the brushes? No, they do not, Spirit. It doesn't say anything about them. I've got to do some research on that. So, Dave Price. Oh, dear. I don't know what this is going to be. I don't know what you're on about, Mark. I was watering the garden using a hose and cooled myself down with it. I must be missing something. There used to be a Coca-Cola ad with a guy and a hose watering himself down as he opens a can of Coke. You must have seen it, Dave. I was just referring to that, nothing else. I'm with you, Spidik. I don't like the stuff and will only use it as a very last resort. What are we on about there? Spidik, do they have a recommended use on the packet of brush? I'm not sure what you're on about there, Dave. Are you on about the glue? Don't get me started on glue prices. I much prefer my homemade thin cement. And are we all caught up? Absolutely. My thinking is it's a static display model, so shouldn't get knocked often. When I did RC flying, I used to use the Zap range of CA. Very good, but they go off as well. Absolutely. So Spidik and Dave are having a conversation. I've lost the track of it. Yeah, so Dave just saying he was on about CA. That brings all that to a close. So now it's on to my builds, I believe. You done the Spitfire, didn't you?
I showed it. I showed mine.
So basically, the one that I'm enjoying the most, there's two I'm enjoying the most. The HMS Victory has finally come out of masking tape now. Flip down. And so there she is.
Oh.
She's finally out of the masking tape. And
it looks good.
Many of you will remember that I painted all the back of the captain's quarters and the sides, and I was deeply unhappy with them. Up close, they looked an absolute mess, and I was just unhappy. And that's when I started the search for Photoetch. Well, actually, to be honest, somebody on my YouTube channel inquired where they could get some Photoetch for their HMS 180th build, and I said I would try and help them find out. Well, I managed, both me and Chris, I think, managed to find a link to the Photoetch. I followed it through and actually looked at it and thought about it, and I thought, yeah, I really like I like that. So over the past few nights, I've spent these. I've took these back down to their plastic, and now I've got to cut out all these windows. Michael, one of the other members of the group, has given me an idea of just sort of sanding at the back, but these are in the way. I don't really want to remove them. But yeah, I've got to look at cutting out these window frames, and then the Photoetch will drop on over the top, and that'll look a lot nicer. And then the same with the side units. So they've been stripped back. They're ready to go on their next stage. All this got painted. It hasn't been sealed yet. We've got a nice copper color on the bottom, and it's had a UMP green algae wash put over it, and the bottom has been sealed. The top hasn't. So that's as far as I've got with the HMS Victory. Like I say, this is one I've been enjoying. I've been waiting on the Photoetch, so I can start on that now. So that's going to one side. The other, just pop that down there. The other kit I've been working on, as many of you will know, is the Airfix 124th Spitfire. Now I can show you how far I've got with that, because I've just done, is it today or yesterday? I've done the latest. I think it was part 7. It's taking a long time because there's so much cleanup involved in it. So these are all the Airfix parts. And as you can see, this is how far we've got at the moment. So we've got the engine sort of semi ready, and we got this painted yesterday in cockpit green. We've got a few other little bits and pieces to go on here and there, levers and such like. Couple of oxygen tanks by the looks of it. They're all ready to go into the fuselage. Now, because I'm literally only working on this when I'm on camera, so you know, I know that there's going to be people out there that are going to be going, part 7, he should have been able to build that in, I don't know, 5 episodes. Well, you know, I only build slow. I keep emphasizing this. I only build slow, and I take my time. But there has been an awful amount of cleanup on this kit. Every single piece has had to have a significant amount of time. It's not only removing flash, but also straightening up lines, getting rid of the seams. There have been some horrendous seams on virtually everything. So, you know, that's what's taking up the time. So I've started to do the cleanup outside of the videos, so that from now on, hopefully, things should move along a lot quicker. That's the plan. So that's, and obviously also with the, let me just pop that there. The other thing that I got done yesterday on the fuselage halves was I managed to get these painted on the inside, and I like the effect that I've gone. I've sprayed a black primer down, just a Vallejo black primer, and then I've gone over the top with cockpit green, and in areas I've just left it, you know, a little bit of the black showing through in parts.
Nice shading.
So that it looks a bit grubby sort of towards the front, and then, you know, a bit darker down these corners and areas like that. And I'm quite happy with that.
That's good.
These front sections here were horrendous. I have got some pictures to put up of how bad they were, and I reckon these took, just these front thin bits here, they probably took me near on an hour each side to get them cleaned up to what I would say is acceptable. I had to be so careful because they're so thin, and I had to be really take my time with them. Yeah, and I've got a couple of pictures that will go up on the SprueSurgeon page and the SprueSurgery waiting room page, to show you just how bad they were. But it's looking good. Getting there slowly. I am enjoying that. Now we come to the Ford Escort. I've not had so much fun on this. I don't know why. There's nothing wrong with the kit so far. Just lost my mojo on this a bit. As for progress that's been made, it's pretty much the same, apart from I did manage yesterday to get the seat belts finally done on one side.
Ooh.
So
That looks good.
yeah, and these are all loose on here. The bottom of these, they're not glued down, so they do actually flap about a bit. Yeah, I'm quite pleased with how that's come out.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah, I'm quite happy with that. Sorry, it's just not.
You had to cut those holes, or those holes that where the belts are going through. You had to cut them yourself, or were them already there?
I bought them. The seat belts. What comes with the kit is just basically.
No, I mean the holes on the seat. The hole where the belt is going through to the back side.
Yes, right. So yes, basically, first of all, the holes that come in the seat. Let me get one that's not been done. So the holes that come in the seat are nowhere near big enough for the Photoetch.
Okay.
Let me try to see whether this will work. No, I can't hold them side by side. So I'm going to have to do it that way. I don't know, maybe at the back. No, you're not going to see, but they won't go through. They're too wide. The seat belts are far too wide.
Yeah.
So I had to use a small, it's like a Dremel drill, but it's not. It's a Parkside one with a variable motor on it. Goes right down to something like 200 RPM. And I very carefully sort of drilled them out. That's why they look round on this one instead of square like they are on this one. So I done that. Now then, the other thing that those of you that follow racing sports, and particularly rally racing, will realise that they don't clip like this on the side, where I've glued it on the side and gone over the top. That's not how they glue on. There's normally a slot down here where they'll come through from the anchor point. Now, because of the way the car is, when they sat side by side, there's no way that I'm going to manage to get any anchor point sorted out in there. And look at that. That's what I mean. There's a piece come off. That Photoetch, that's just literally from handling it. So I'll have to repair that in a minute. There's no room in there for. So I was stuck with the choice of trying to drill a slot in either side and then pulling the Photoetch through and anchoring it in some way where I wouldn't have been able to that side, not without taking the doors off first, the door cards, Or I could just fold them over the top and stick them in like that. To be honest, I thought you're not going to notice it. Nobody's really going to see it. Even if you look in, you're probably not going to notice it. So I just opted with that because by this stage, I was just totally cheesed off with it because I'd spent all night sorting this out, and then I found out that, you know, actually you've got to drill another couple of holes. Oh, stuff it. So, you know, it's just one of those things. And look, here I get to actually use my, rather than use my fat sausage fingers. Might glue that down. I don't know. I thought it might look more effective if it was loose. But I'll sort that out in a minute. Got to leave that out now. Where's that piece gone? There it is. Put my ring round it so it doesn't blow away. Yeah, so that's the Ford build. But, you know, I've got time. Interestingly, I mixed up the Spitfire seat. I dropped it in with the Ford kit by mistake. So I nearly ended up attaching the safety harness to the Airfix kit. So there we go. So that's my build, which takes us up to about 9:20. Let's see whether if there's any more. Right, we have got a bit more going on in the chat. Where did we get to? All right, so Felix says that Joe should call it Hammond Slimline Cement roll. It's too damn hot, Bovington says. Dave, I do remember the advert now you mentioned it. Please excuse my senior moment. You're welcome, Dave. It's no problem. I thought you was getting upset then that I'd implied something. Spidic, hey, you should make a sticky label for your glue bottle and mark it that name. Yeah, you should. I agree. Time for a hose down, I think. Oh dear. Bit pointless to sell it. I told everyone the formula. Brilliant. Yeah. Spidic 8 says, I'm not a fan of boats, but that's looking good. Thank you, Spidic. I wasn't, honestly. I wasn't a very big fan of boats at all, but it's really grown on me, that kit. So much so that I've been out and got another small battle. It's called it's a trumpeter, and I think it's nicknamed the Dog, somebody told me, but and then Spidic says, well, true, but for sheer comedy value and lol age at Tamir, it'd be worth a label and a pick on the groups. Yeah, it would. Instead of 2 stars, you could maybe do triangles or circles. What are we on about here? Yeah, sell him a bottle. Joanna, she's got a chemist head on there, different evaporation points. Butyl acetate takes longer to flash off. And you can get high while mixing it in this weather. There you go. He's just sold it for you there. Everybody would be wanting it now. Methyl ethyl ketone is lethal. Avoid going near that stuff. Spidicate says, I saw a re-pop Tamiya car on a group once from a Chinese company. They must have made molds from a kit because quality was terrible, but they had the cheat to even make their logo incredibly close. Oh, right. Damn. I was building the engine and lost a bit of interest. It's dreadful when you lose interest. And then Joanna says she's got to go. So see you, Joe. Bye. Everyone's saying bye. And that's the chat taken care of, really. Anything you want to add, Chris? You've been quiet tonight.
No, I'm fine.
So, never really got any building done tonight. I'm just going to repair this while we're on air, so that if anyone wants to see how I do it, they can. I'm going to try using these Brontosaurus snazzy scissors. How cool that is. I've got to... Right, see, the problem is this slides onto this. Yeah, I've got to be really careful with these. Don't want them, they're spring-loaded. I don't like using spring-loaded tweezers on Photoetch. It's a disaster waiting to happen. So I'm going to use these. My old favourite. These are Master Tools. They're normally £5 a pack. You get them in packs of 5, and they're £5.95. Excellent value for money. So before I apply the glue, I'm just going to go in. I just want to have a close look at this to find out which side slides on. And then I'm going to have another look at this and just see if I can slide it on. And it's going to be a bit of a pig, this. In fact, I might be better off just actually gluing. I see it's actually broke in half. Right, I get it. I get it. Right. So basically the top of this has broken away from the bottom. So that has to go on the top of there like so. Right. So we know what we're doing now. Let me just use, get rid of the old super glue that's in it. I'm just sorting this out to watch Chris.
Sorry?
No, I'm just putting the camera on you for a minute while I
I'm spraying. I am putting the matte varnish on it. The final coat.
right. This is just the rocket glue again. I've just poured some of this rocket glue, and I'm going to use my patented crap-on homemade tool. See that? And it's just basically a bit of wooden dowel, hole drilled in the end, small hole, and a sewing needle added, which I've cut the tip off.
Yeah, I've done the same. Oh,
I'm getting assaulted by my own.
live on camera.
Yeah, you've seen it here first. Paranormal activity. Right, and then I'm just going to add. Don't know whether this is going to work or not. That and that. Remember, this was what? 25 seconds. So we've already passed the 5 seconds point. Come on. Yeah, Lord. I picked this up loads of times a minute ago and I had no trouble with it. Oh. And now it's just really playing up. It just, it beggars belief sometimes. That glue's probably useless now, but there you go. That totally blows that 1 to 5 seconds out the water. I just want to get a little bit. And try and leave that to go off. Sometimes if you play around with it too much, you can do more damage than good. But I can tell you, I could probably go in there and just pick that off now. And yeah, it says 1 to 5 seconds. So I think that refers to your fingers, because that would glue my fingers in 1 to 5 seconds. I can guarantee that.
Yeah.
And I'm having to use the straw still because I've still got problems with my teeth, unfortunately. Dave saw the new aircraft carrier enter Portsmouth. It's supposed to be huge. Oh, what is it called again? Did they name it after David Attenborough, or was that something else? I don't know. As that's already quite delicate, I'm going to leave that seat out. I'm not going to put it in the box. Probably needs gluing onto the frame actually, but I'll deal with that another time. So don't forget about the builds for the group builds that we've currently got, and the one we've got coming up. Don't forget to let everyone know about that build that's coming up, because we are going to have prizes for that. I'm just trying to source some now. We've already, me and Chris have sort of delved into our own pockets to provide prizes for this. And obviously, you know, we want to give something to the channel. This is the best way that we can do it. Yeah, so I mean, if anybody wants to donate any old kit, an old kit or something to give us a prize, I guess that would be okay. What do you think?
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome.
I mean, I hadn't thought about it till just now.
Yeah.
I don't know whether it's something. Do we want to do that though? Do we want to get into that? It seems a great idea that, you know, if anybody's got an old kit that they want to donate to give us a prize, then obviously we keep a record. We'd make sure that anybody it gets announced at the, you know, whoever's provided the prize or something. I don't know. It's just an idea. And I'm just, you know, thinking aloud. It's everyone's group. So, you know, yeah, so I don't know. There's a thought. Anyway. So I think that's it, really.
Yeah.
It's well, it's 20 to 10 now. We've run over a bit. We've not 65,000 tons. Damn, that's big. So sorry, I got distracted by that 65,000 tons. Yeah, so thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. It's normally not all about what I've bought and stuff like that. We normally do get a bit of building done. Sadly, not tonight. But next week will probably be more building than talking. And I look forward to seeing you all then. Please leave your comments underneath whether you liked it, didn't like it. If you do give us a thumbs down, then you know, please leave a comment as to why. You know, give a brief little description. You don't have to be too personal. But yeah, tell us why you gave it a thumbs down. I promise that I won't be messaging you back or anything like that. It just helps me know how to take the group forward. Anyway, and if it's likewise, if you loved it, then tell us what you liked the most, because that will help us develop future shows. So thanks for watching, and see you all next time. Bye.
Bye-bye.